I'm not going to lie to you. This show is kind of starting to lose steam, for me at least. Now, when it comes to the first two or three, really three episodes, what I've loved about the show is the coming of age story, right? Kamala figuring out her life, figuring out boys and her family, her relationship with her parents. And I've loved the way that they've explored Pakistani American culture and, just kind of showing this thing that I'm just very much not familiar with. Like, I've loved all of that. And what I didn't really like about last episode was, and I kind of just brushed it off because everything going on with the wedding was so strong, but was the Jinn, right? And all this lore that they're bringing in and that they're kind of cramming into this show. It was just a lot of information to digest. And I was kind of hoping, like, okay, so they just blindsided us with that in the last episode. And, the twist with the villains of, oh, we're good. No, actually, we're bad. It was really quick. And I was hoping that in this episode, we would just get some more of that fleshed out. But instead, we get another similar situation where it's like, now here's this other faction of people in Pakistan, and you're just going to learn all about them. And you're going to meet the leader, and then the leader's going to die, and you're going to care because the show wants you to. And so I'm just bringing up all of this because we're two episodes in a row where we are moving further and further away from what I loved about the first two episodes, which was the coming of age aspect and, learning about Pakistani culture. And we get that here. Like, we get the fine family dynamics with her and her mom. We kind of learned that her mom and her grandma had a very similar relationship to them, right? Except kind of in the inverse, where, like her mom was kind of very much how she is today, and her grandma was a dreamer, and because of that, right, their relationship kind of drifted, and that's why she moved to America. So, and all of that is very compelling. Like, I like the family dynamics, I like all of that. I'm just all of the lore surrounding her powers and her ancestry and the dimension that exists. And I'm like, okay, is this a multiverse thing? Like, what is this? Is this I guess this is related to what happened in Shang-Chi, so it's like where his family was also from another dimension, and it's just a lot of information that I feel like they've just thrown at us in these last two episodes, and it's just completely messed with what was happening in the first two and a lot of the third episode. And it's just not really meshing together. It's like, it feels like this thing that I've been really enjoying has just been kind of overtaken, if that makes any sense. And yeah, I don't know. Listen, we still have two episodes left, but I want to get back to New Jersey. Like, I want to get back to Bruno, and I want to get back to Nakia, and like that, all that really great stuff that we've just, like, all that coming of age stuff that we've just moved away from. I want to go back to that. I don't know that we will, though. Like, I fear that the rest of this season is just going to be a lot of, oh, we have to fight the Jinn, and we're gonna, like, it's all gonna be about this mythology that we're setting up. And it's like, okay, I get it, like, you're trying to further the MCU lore or whatever. And here's the thing, like, I also think that this probably is just a problem with this 6-episode format that Disney Plus is clearly or that Disney is mandating on, Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm, where it's like these just aren't enough episodes to tell the stories that they want to tell. It's kind of the same thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi, where like I thought all of the Obi-Wan and Vader stuff in Obi-Wan Kenobi was great, and if they had condensed all of that into a 2.5 hour movie, I bet you that would have been a really strong 2.5 hour movie. But we have to stretch this out into 6 episodes, so let's just throw in a bunch of this extra random stuff that we don't have enough time to fully flesh out, because we have these 6 episodes are too much for what we were going to do in a movie, but too little for what we would do in a proper season of television. And that's the same thing that's happening here, where it's like, I feel like all this mythology could be cool, it could be well fleshed out, but like they just didn't have an they just didn't take the time to make me care about the Jinn. They didn't take the time to make me care about the Red Dagger guys. And it just all feels very rushed and very thrown together, you know. So yeah, I'm overall my feelings are still positive on the show, because overall I loved the first 2 episodes. I really liked the third episode. This episode was not good. And by the way, not to mention, I mean, you know, obviously people are going to complain about the CGI and all that, because they, you know, there was a lot of action in this episode, and I'm not going to disagree with them. But honestly, like when I'm like that, this is the budget that they have. This is how the show is going to look. I'm personally not too bothered by it. My brain is just kind of able to accept it and move forward with all of that. But yeah, am I making sense? Also, by the way, I have no idea what the ending was. Like I know they said something about the partition. I quickly Googled that, and I guess that's a thing in India. I guess, was there a civil war that divided India into India and Pakistan? I personally had no idea about that history. Is that related to what was happening at the end there? Um, and by the way, you may be saying like, why didn't you research it further before you made this video? It's like, okay, hang on. The show should be able to inform me of all of this. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to um go take a history class before watching a show. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of my criticism, is that I'm ultimately confused. But yeah, let me know what you think about my thoughts here, because I really I like the first 3 episodes of this show, like, and the show in general, and I will still say the show in general is such a breath of fresh air. Because I still love Kamala Khan. I still love the actress playing her. I still want to love the show. And I really, really hope that these next 2 episodes are strong. And it sucks that that this episode was just such a big misstep for me. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you love this episode? Do you disagree with me? Do you maybe want to explain to me what the ending was? What the partition is, what all that is. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Also, like the video, subscribe, be sure to ring the bell to be notified whenever I upload. And goodbye.